Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC. And that's the fact the Japanese Twitter account went ahead and provided us with the details that we now have yet another one of these brand new Capcom official weapon tutorial videos, this time featuring the Sword and Shield. Remember that about 2 weeks ago we went over the fact that Capcom started to put out these weapon tutorial videos, interestingly enough, about 11 months after the game originally came out. Presumably these are more aimed towards the PC audience of the game that are choosing to start getting their hands into the game and maybe a little bit more casual than the Nintendo Switch faithful. So presumably that is their route, that is their thinking, providing these newcomers a little bit of a tutorial and a basic idea as to how each one of the weapons work. So the Sword and Shield, as we all know, is pretty much a fast attack weapon. It's probably one of the second fastest attacking weapons that we have in the entire game. Is mostly based on agility and speed, and because of its fast attacks, it doesn't necessarily do that much high damage, but it does have the benefit of being able to do a lot of status inflicting attacks. So a lot of the Sword and Shield weapons will mostly focus on status effects, and if you're not doing statuses with it or elemental damage, then you're probably just kind of missing out on what this weapon is really all about. It is very versatile. That is kind of the biggest boon to the weapon itself, that you have a lot of agility. You can move around the map, you can constantly keep up with monsters, you can certainly defend yourself whenever you need to. In fact, you can actually use that shield as a weapon with a shield bash attack and a couple of other things as well, and just keep on the aggressive and never really feel like you're going to be at a disadvantage like you can be stuck with other weapons. I do think the Silkbind attacks are not necessarily the best ones out of all the weapons. They're very mid-tier in that regard. Hopefully Sunbreak addresses some of that. We've talked about that before. We're hoping that Sunbreak at the very least not only adds new Silkbind attacks for all the weapons, but also tweaks the ones that are a little bit lacking. Those defensively focused ones that are not really doing much of anything, especially shield based weapons have a lot of those defensive ones. They're not doing much for you. Make sure you just give us some offensive ones so we can take better advantage of that. So this is just a very quick weapon tutorial. It's not all that deep. Sadly, it is just in Japanese as of right now. There is no English version. I am wondering now that we're 2 videos in, presumably if the Western, Capcom group is going to be releasing an English version of this little weapon tutorial, but so far we haven't necessarily seen anything about that just yet. It is just in Japanese, so it is what it is, but by just looking at it you can kind of understand what is going on. So that's about all the information that I wanted to go over today. This is one of the most varied weapons in the game. The Sword and Shield certainly needs some love. Hopefully Sunbreak does bring that along with it. And again, this weapon tutorial is really interesting that they're choosing to do it solely into the game, but presumably because PC players just started to play, they maybe need a little bit of a tutorial, a little bit of a boost to be able to get a better grip on each one of these weapons. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.